welcome back. Just before we get into that conversation about the leadership of the National Assembly, Mark, when we opened, we mentioned that some of the Nigerians that were stranded in Sudan arrived yesterday. I think the first batch, the first group of Nigerians arrived about 11:40 p.m. Then on an Air Peace flight. The next batch arrived about midnight on the Air Force C-130 plane, and there are other batches that are coming in. But the process that culminated in this evacuation is one that a lot of people have wondered. There's been that back and forth as in who's in charge, who's not in charge. But then the most important thing is, can Nigerian citizens be reached and brought back? And you mentioned something about the excess luggage. Indeed, a Daily Eye reporter who was there talked about the fact that they had issues with their luggage. Some were carrying 2-3 bags, and even though they had been instructed carry only one luggage, it wasn't. I mean, well, so that's what you saw on the screen. There's a clip of the plane that conveyed Nigerians back from Sudan.
Yes, indeed. I think that, eventually when now that they have arrived, we can then ask them for sure what happened. Because our correspondent, Dele Moyene, spoke of excess luggage yesterday, that they were having issues with that. But, further detail is telling us that, it was that they had to be able to take more people and might need to, find a way to handle the luggage later. So we also understand that they made provisions to be able to take some of the luggage, especially for those on the C-130, that's a military plane, to have it in the cargo hold of Air Peace. Because the Egyptian authorities kept on saying that they wanted, Nigerians to be off their soil, because this is a humanitarian arrangement. You didn't get any visa to come into their country. So, but thankfully, they were able to sort that out, and, the Nigerians were able to arrive in one piece. So we can, when we eventually, I think is that the students, as they arrived, entering the buses from last night, thank God they arrived in one piece, and I think that's the most important thing. We also understand that priority was given to the women. Yeah. So ladies were boarded first, and we can see that even some of them had children on them. Now, whether they were all students, I mean, that's another kettle of fish, because don't forget that, there was talk around who were going to be the priority. The federal government said students first, and I think also even in giving priority to students, they also gave priority to female students first. So it's good to see them back home. It will be good to have conversation with them as to, how did that go? What was the controversy about the luggage? Was it that you had more than one bag as instructed by the Nigerian government? But what we're reading also is that the military aircraft had to even take more people than the 80 capacity, which it was intended for, so that they could accommodate more people, coming back home.
It's a good thing that whatever was needed to be done was done just to get the Nigerians back home. I understand that when they came in, they had to go through a processing, filling out forms, data forms and all that, just so that the authorities are sure who is who. I mean, in a crisis situation, sometimes it might be difficult to identify the people. So when they come into the country, they go through that process of record taking and all that for data purposes and for record keeping. It's a good thing that they're here, and we hope that the next batch would arrive safely as well. And then also that I am looking forward to a day when, yes, there will be need to migrate. People will need to move. Fortunately for us, we have someone here who would explain to us, since he's in charge of customs and excise, he'll tell us exactly how it is that people can move conveniently and comfortably and still be able to move back and forth. Well, moving from that matter of the students or Nigerians who were stranded in Sudan, let's begin to look at our conversation today, start our conversation today from the papers to the leadership of the House of Representatives. That race is still on. Who is going to be the speaker? There are some who are insisting that they have the qualification, and then some endorsements have been made as well, as per endorsing this person and endorsing the other person. But in the studio today, we have a member of the House of Representatives, who is also the chairman of the House Committee on Customs and Exercise, representing the Yagba East, Yagba West, Mukbamuro Federal Constituency of Kogi State, Honorable Leke Abejide. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Honorable Leke Abejide also happens to be the governorship candidate of the African Democratic Congress in Kogi State.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you so much.
So you want to leave the National Assembly to the #1 position in the state?
Of course. God willing, I'm going to become the governor of Kogi State by 11th of November, 2023. God willing.
Okay, let's not run ahead of ourselves. Let's come back here and look at the matter of the leadership of the House of Representatives. There's been all manner of permutations and conversations and endorsements. Let's put aside the endorsement and the permutations and let's look at what qualities should be put forward in selecting the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Thank you. To look at the qualities is not far-fetched. Looking at the current Speaker, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, look at the competence, look at capacity, look at inclusiveness, and you look at what we call the joint task, that is carrying every political parties in the House together in peace, able to coordinate. These are the qualities we are expecting from whoever is going to emerge as the Speaker of the 10th National Assembly. And we have areas of aspirants. We have the current Deputy Speaker, who is also very competent. We have Honorable Betara Aliyu, who is equally very competent. And we have some new people joining. Among the aspirants, I don't know most of them, apart from these two and some few others, like the female among them, Miriam, Princess Miriam Manoha, and Gaji. These are the people that are now looking for the seat. But if you look at the people that have the experience, it's about experience as well. You must know the rules of the House. You must know how to conduct the rules of the House. If you are just coming as a new member, you are just a novice. It takes you time to learn the process. And, well, some of us, like Gaji, myself, Miriam, we are just going to be second-timer by the 11th of June. We are all first-timers. While people like Wasi have been there for, I think this will be his 4th time. And Ali Betara is going to be the 5th time. So they have more experience than we. I expect that the people coming second time.
So you're thinking experience should outweigh competence and capacity?
I said it from the beginning that looking at the current Speaker, you start with capacity. You have experience. And then the ability to carry everybody along, that is inclusiveness. That's what I said at the beginning. So is that you can't buy experience by the roadside, especially when it comes to this exalted position. Because if you are not experienced, somebody, a just ordinary member on the floor, can pull the Speaker down when it comes to issue of argument, and you don't know how to navigate. The Speaker now will be embarrassed on the seat. The whole world will be watching. So you need experience in order to be a good Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Okay.
So I'm just looking at, the fact that, well, I'm sure you're watching from the sidelines. You're looking at what is happening because you are suddenly facing another battle. It's interesting that you even bothered to come back to the House of Representatives, and even from there, you're looking to be governor of your state, face another election this year. One would have thought that perhaps you would just want to, face one election squarely, and maybe you wouldn't have bothered to contest for a second term from the people of your constituency. You're trying to, play safe. Is it that you're not very certain that, the ambition which you nurse as to being governor of Kogi State will eventually work out?
No, it is not like that. If you look at Kogi State election, is an off-cycle election. if it were to be doing at the same time with all other states, I wouldn't have contested the House of Reps. I would have faced the governorship election. But it's an off-cycle election, and I'm already a sitting member of House of Representatives, so I cannot sit down watching. So I had to contest. In fact, my people, I didn't buy the form. My people on their own contributed money and bought the form.
You know how many politicians tell us that? My people.
This is on air. You can ask
money. And
you can ask it's on air now. If it is like people will tell you. Then when they went to buy the form, the party came and gave me free.
Are you not worried? Are you not worried that, I mean, this, because by the time you go to contest...
Allow me to even land. You said maybe I'm not sure whether I will be able to win the governorship election. That was why I went into the House of Representatives election. It is not so. Even in this governorship, I was not really much interested at the beginning. We were waiting for APC to give the ticket to my central district. That is Kogi West Central District, because we haven't been governor since the state was created. So we were watching. When it was, we were looking at the body language of the governor. It was showing that he was going to give it to his son, kinsman. So, and people now said, for us not to go empty, I should take this form and just be watching whether the primary ticket will go our own way. So when it didn't go our own way, that was where I...
The primary ticket of the... Why do you have to watch that of the APC?
Why APC?
That we have, because
what about PDP?
If they have given to APC, you know, actually my party is ADC, but you know, I have a relationship with APC. So I would have not gone, go out for the contest. If somebody in APC have picked the ticket of the gubernatorial election in Kogi West, I would have supported whoever he brings. And we have people that were contesting then, like the current Commissioner for Finance, Idris Asiru, was contesting. And then Senator Smart Adeyemi was equally contesting. So if any one of them had gotten it, I had a lot of friends in APC. I was an APC person myself before.
Before you left for ADC?
Before I left for ADC. I would have supported any one of them.
Okay. So, I mean, what about Senator Dino Melaye?
Dino Melaye is of PDP.
Indeed.
And then, you know, in my place now, especially I can say in the Kogi West, PDP is not existing anymore. Most of the people that were in PDP before, they are in ADC.
But he's from your area, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from my area, but he's of PDP. I have no relationship with PDP.
So, isn't it, I mean, if this is now about where people are from, shouldn't people, you know, coalesce around the person whom they think will have one of the strongest chances to, you have already said at the end of the day? Because if at the end of the day people are going to be voting along the lines of where we're from within exact senatorial district, shouldn't there be, because you're going to be dividing the votes of your district, wouldn't you?
It's not going to. Yeah, actually, you will take some votes, but definitely I will win the 7 local governments of my place. Already, my party is controlling 5 out of 7 in Kogi West. We have 2 federal House of Representatives, and the PDP has none. Okay. APC has 1.
You know, the dynamics that happen before the election day oftentimes do not play out after on the election day or after that. If you're controlling 7 local governments, there's no guarantee that when you go into that contest, you will still control those 5 local governments.
Well, it isn't about party, you know. For me to be able to win with a relatively unknown party, you should know that it's about the personality, not about the party this time. It is because what God has used me to do for the people for about 6 years now. I'm just like going to be 4 years, but I've been doing a lot of things across my place for more than 10 years. And people believe in me, especially they believe that whatever I say, I keep to the word.
Okay, so let us move to the matter at hand. I'm just a little concerned about the fact that, well, if it should happen that you win, INEC will be forced to conduct another by-election when, you know, your party or your people could have decided, you know, to just have somebody who was going to be there for 4 years. And then INEC knows, okay, you're conducting another elections for governorship, you know, and that is done. They don't have to worry about any other by-election again. But it appears that, you know, this representation is just temporary. Are you then interested in what is happening in terms of the tussle for speakership in the House of Representatives?
Of course.
Since you don't really hope to be a beneficiary of whatever leadership eventually emerges.
Why wouldn't I be beneficiary? I'm a member of House of Representatives, and I will continue to be a member until when I win that governorship election. So that is what it is. I'm interested who becomes the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Definitely. But I am sorry to say, the way it is now, APC has delayed. They ought to have zoned these offices before now. And I have said this times without number. I met with one of the leaders in the party. And I told him, I said, sir, it is high time you zone these offices. Because if you allow these aspirants to go very far, to bring them back and ask them to step down will be very tough. And then some of them must have agreement with members. So it is about interest. Members will look at who can support them more, where they can get benefit home. And if somebody has gone so far, has spent money, has advertised, and has done, consulted widely, and then the election is next few weeks, and then you ask him to step down, he will not step down. And if 3 or 4 of them now go to the floor, whoever is popular will emerge as the Speaker.
So you haven't heard, you haven't heard anything concretely in terms of, how the party intends, as the APC now, intends to zone the leadership.
It's only a rumor we're hearing.
There's nothing concrete.
There's nothing concrete. It's a rumor we're just hearing.
That the speakership should be from the Northwest. Is that what you're hearing?
That's the rumor I had just this week. I have not had it. Because the Deputy Speaker is from North Central, and he has calculated that the things will be zoned to North Central. He gave up on petition that all the speakers that Northwest have had 4 speakers before now, starting from the day of Salisu Buhari, to Naba, to Tamboa, to the current governor of Katsina State. So they've had 4 speakers. And he was of the opinion that this time it will come to North Central. But because of the election, now they're saying North Central is having the national chairman. And maybe because of that, they have to zone it to Northwest. And Northwest equally gave a lot of votes to the president-elect. And it's not good to leave them with nothing. So that's why they're trying to zone it to Northwest. But in the Northwest, we have Dr. Tajuddin Abbas coming out. Now we have Honorable Dodogwa coming out. I think somebody like Jaji, I've never met him, I don't know him, I'm just hearing his name. I only met him on Sunday for the first time. So these are the 3 people going out from Northwest.
Again, this matter of where the person's from, the Northwest or North Central, as the case may be, or the qualities you had reeled out, experience, capacity, competence. Now, there are those who argue that competence and capacity is relative. It's based on where you're looking at the elephant from. It could be small or it could be big. But let's look at the numbers as they are. I'm looking at a breakdown of the numbers in the House of Representatives. For now, there are 2 seats that are pending, so to speak. But let's say this. The APC has 176 seats, right?
176.
176.
I think 178.
Okay. Let's just say over 100.
After the supplementary election.
178. But you have 19 seats, NNPP, ADC, and all of that. What if these other parties, as the spread as it is, decide that, okay, this is what we want? Yes, you might say the majority, that the party with the majority of seats would almost always produce or should produce the speaker.
Yeah, that's the rule.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
But is it a rule of the party or the rule? Is it your rule book? The rule of the House that the party with the largest number should produce
the Speaker, yes.
Contrary to, and it aligns with the Constitution that says they will select their leader amongst themselves. The Constitution did not say it should be of any political party.
The Constitution allows us to use our rules, to guide ourselves and all our procedures. So that's what we are using. And there's no, it's not even possible. No, it's easy to say it. How can you say all the parties come together? If you are counting now, you count me.
Of course.
You cannot count me because
you've already decided.
Yes, I'm always with APC. Wherever APC goes, that's where I go. So, and that we cannot count 2 or 4 that are ADC to be part of this.
Wait, you've used this relationship with APC a couple of times here now.
Yes.
Are you
an extension?
An extension of the APC?
In the House, APC is ADC, ADC is APC. That is how we relate. And if you look at the people that I'm working with, that I'm relating with, like Honorable James Faleke, we have been doing politics together from the state. So I belong to Audu Faleke group in the state.
Just before
when we lost Audu as our leader, we adopted him as our leader. Just before
our colleague in Lagos has a question, but I want to. You mentioned a female aspirant for the speakership, Honorable Miriam Onoha. Are you guys even considering that she might have what it takes to bring a new life to the House of Representatives?
Well, I'm not Miriam. I don't know her capacity in that.
But you mentioned her amongst the people
She's among the aspirants. Okay. Yeah, but
and she's of the APC.
She's of the APC. Well, it depends if the zoning favors her. But if the zoning doesn't favor her, there's nothing she can do. I don't think she can walk against the zoning.
So you don't think it is also possible for the minority parties to come together and make majority since they have the numbers?
It's not possible. Because within these minorities, everybody is looking for one thing or the other. So interest comes first. So somebody in PDP will not want somebody in NMPP to take over the leadership. Then somebody in NMPP will be looking to that doesn't want somebody in SDP to take it. So there is no cohesion the way you are thinking. So at the end of the day, what I just believe is that the candidate or the aspirant who has the sympathy of the minority parties will win the speakership.
Okay, our colleague Ayo has some questions for you. Ayo.
Nyota, but I would actually like to start where Maokwe took off from, and that is concerning the position or opinion or the authority that the minority groups now have as a result of the results that we have as of now, which you raised with him the other time. If it is possible for us to look at this so that you can also have a pictorial representation of what we are talking about now, you see that, as you said, yes, that's it, 178 seats belong to the APC, but that's lower than the total of others, 182. Yes, you have spoken about interests, but you know that interest falls on both sides. On the one hand, you are saying that if your party does not select you or someone from your zone in your party, you're going to shift to another party to be a governorship candidate. So what if we have people in the APC who decide to go with a substantial number decides to go with the minorities, so to speak?
Okay. 178 plus 2, that's 180. And you need, when I say plus 2, you count the ADC. Then you win with 180 plus 1. That is the formula. You cannot win with just 180. 180 plus 1. And definitely, I have said it. I said the minority is going to play a major role because they have greater numbers. And any of the aspirants within APC that have the sympathy of the minority will win the speaker. Go and write it down. Because APC cannot even be one. The whole 178 you are talking about, all the aspirants have their own people within. Honorable Betara Aliyu has his own people. Honorable Wasi, the Deputy Speaker, has his own people. These are the major contenders. We should not deceive ourselves. So, and Jaji that is coming new have his own people, though they may be very few. So now, the person that is being loved or being accepted by the minority parties like PDP, like ADC, like SDP, like NMPP, and the rest of them will win that speakership because he will get the greater numbers to defeat others. As it is now, no candidate wants to step down for anybody. As it is.
Well, Honorable, another question that comes to mind naturally is the 2015 experience. It was the APC against the APC, and we saw what happened at that time. Should there be such a scenario again, and the minorities, as you put it, decide to go with this minority APC group, it would seem then that the APC could lose the grip of the House of Representatives. And if the same thing happens in the Senate, same thing goes. The APC could lose grip. I'm asking this question against the background of the need, as you guys, the politicians often say, to collaborate, to consult, to lobby, and all those things. How much of that is going on to factor in the critical importance of carrying along, as the so-called minorities have demanded, these groups of people, so there is that sense of inclusion? How much of that is going on within the APC?
Well, what is going on within the APC, I may not know very well, but the scenario you are trying to paint, like the 2015, I think it's going to be a little bit different, because now whoever emerges among these aspirants, either Honorable Betara Aliyu, either Honorable Wasi, or Honorable Jaji, I think they have a relationship with the president-elect, the three of them. So it's not going to be like when Dogara emerged and could not even see the president. But I believe whoever emerges among these three will be accepted by the president, because they are all his boys too. They know him very well, and he knows them very well. And in the House, once the speaker emerged, the issue of political party fizzled out. Everybody now become one. What we have is the agenda of the House, how to execute the agenda of the House. You can hardly see this one say, PDP, this is APC, this is ADC. We become one and rally around whoever emerges as the speaker. That's how it is. If you look at this current speaker, that is what we did. That's why we have what we call nation building, a joint task. So it is a joint task for all of us. So once you emerge, that's it. You become the father to everybody. Well, so issue of APC will be having a problem. No, it will not happen.
Okay. But, you know, three major issues have played significant roles in this election, this 2023 general election so far. Political parties, which we have been talking about, and then that of religion and zone. Which of these is likely to play the most prominent role in the selection of the leadership of the House?
Well, I think both should play. Zoning is important because if you want to win an election as a president, you need to spread across this whole 36 states, Abuja, FCT inclusive. Then, issue of religion, because of the emergence of the two leaders in the country, happen to be Muslims. I think the issue of religion will also play a role in the leadership of the National Assembly. For example, the Senate President cannot be Muslim, the number 3 person. Otherwise, in the next election, it will be very tough for APC. You can see the result of the last election. If PDP and Labour had come together, we will not be talking of APC by now. And everything is about religion. If you look at the vote that Konkoso polled, is that of Christian and Muslim. The vote that Obi polled is that of Christian and Muslim. The vote that Atiku polled is that of Christian and Muslim, majorly, because they were looking for balancing. Christian were, majority say, okay, they want a Christian vice president, not a Muslim vice president. So in this case, I will advise that APC should balance it with religion this time. The Senate president should come from the South and should be a Christian to balance it. In the area of the speaker, if you look at the northwest, northeast, they cannot get that. They cannot get a Christian. It's very, very clear. So they said they come to North Central, okay, where they will see a Christian.
So do you think this understanding that you are communicating now is accepted by many of the people you say are canvassing for the #1 spot in the House of Representatives?
That is what?
Do you think the understanding, the position you have now about zoning, about religion within your party and even among all the contenders, do you think they're yes, giving any consideration to it?
Of course they are doing that. It's a popular opinion. They are doing that. It's part of the things that they are putting into consideration so that I can hear him.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. It's part of the parameters they are looking at. If you don't do it, it's going to be calamitous for the party in the next election.
Okay.
Because people will now look at it as it's a one religion's party. So they must look at the balancing religious-wise.
Okay. Well, just one question from me.
Otherwise,
yes,
it's not going to bring good thing.
Okay. Just one more question from me, and my colleagues can take it over. And that is the issue about your aspiration for the #1 seat in your state, Kogi. On the website of the National Assembly, it says you are a member of the PDP. You're saying now that you're a member of the APC, but you are contesting on the platform of the ADP. Please help me understand.
No, that one has been corrected. Maybe you are looking at the old. Maybe you are looking at the old platform. It has been corrected. Initially, when I came, that was what they were, insinuating. I'm not a member of PDP.
Have you ever been a member of the PDP?
I'm not a member of the PDP.
Have you ever been a member of the PDP?
Of course, I was a member of PDP. Not really member. That was 2014. It's a long time now.
Okay. Now, are you currently a member of the APC or are you a member of the ADP?
I'm a member of ADC, African Democratic Congress.
ADC, my apologies. So
and it is the party that is reigning now in Kogi State.
Okay.
God's willing, we will take over the states.
Were you employed by the people or elected, as you say, by the people on the platform of the ADC or the APC?
I was elected on the platform of African Democratic Congress twice.
Okay.
To the House of Representatives.
Okay. So knowing that, you say...
And when I was coming this time, I didn't come alone.
Okay.
I also came with the next constituency to me, the next federal constituency to me, that is Kababunu Jumu Federal Constituency.
Okay. Now,
we also won.
Honorable...
I wanted to check very well about my antecedent.
Okay.
And people don't even really know my party as at then. It is my name they were using to vote.
Okay. Now, Honorable, let's factor in some of those contentions that you have before you, the hurdles before you. #1 is the power of incumbency, which the governor currently has. And as you very well know, many will say he's quite a strong personality. Then that of the opposition PDP, the person of Dino Melaye, of course, you cannot remonstrate. You can't just push aside. But you are now telling us that the ADC is the leading, most popular party in Kogi State. As Maokwe already told you, that's what all politicians say. But at the end of it, things go different and we don't hear anything about it. So let's be pragmatic. Exactly what are your chances? And do you have facts to prove that you have better chances than anyone else?
Okay, let me start from the governors. The governors being an incumbent, the power of incumbency. Now in Nigeria, the power of incumbency does not work anymore. When Beavers came, it has shown that whoever is popular on ground can win election, irrespective of the party you belong to. And you can say, otherwise, I wouldn't have won the second term. Go and see my result. If you see the result of APC and PDP put together, it's like half of my votes, the two of them combined. And the other side, my candidate that contested in Kababonu Jumu contested against sitting Speaker of the State House of Assembly with their own power, everything they did. We won him. So that is to tell you that now, election now, the votes now counts. And if you talk of the issue of Dino Melaye, yes, Dino Melaye, you know, there is difference between being famous and being popular. Famous is you are known, people know you, maybe as a result of comic thing you do, or you are more on social media, people will be seeing you, but you are not being loved. But when you are popular, people know you and love you. So I don't want to, blow my own trumpet, but go and ask about me. When it comes to this election that we are going into, you will understand who is more on ground. Even as we speak now, ADC has 2 House of Representatives from Kogi, where that both of us came from. PDP has none. ADC has House of Assemblies elected in this last election. PDP has none. So you can see. And it's not, the party is not known like that as at then, but now it's more known because of what I do for the people. Most especially, I'm the one paying wife fees for the 5 local government for my place. I've been doing my own constituency for the past 5 years, going to 6 years now. And now I'm trying to, because people have been coming to me that what I'm doing in my constituency is only my people that I enjoy, including my traditional rulers, because I provide vehicles for all of them, SUV for all of them. So I don't want them to be moving on ground. So people want this thing to go across the state. The work people, men, possibly God help me, maybe before election, this year on, maybe by October, if God give me the capacity, I will pay the 21 local government. And this has been my logo. And the widows as well, all the widows, I know the number of widows in my constituency. I have 8,869 widows in my federal constituency. So I know them. I clothe them, I feed them. So, and this program is my program that I can do across the state. This is what made me to be popular. Women are behind me. It's difficult for anybody to upstage me. And that's why you see, despite all those powerful conversations you are saying, my election people say no. If it is my own, they must go and do it. And that's what happened.
Honorable Abejide, listening to you now, I'm almost convinced to vote for you if I was from Kogi, but I'm not from Kogi. You will vote for me. Ask me. But I'm not from Kogi. But besides all of this, the things you say you have been doing and why you should be voted for, there are things on ground that should be, I mean, constitutionally wise, governance, welfare, and security of the people. And security has been a challenge in Kogi. Now, someone drove through Kogi State a couple of days ago and has his opinion that Kogi State should be more developed, being the confluent state. I mean, that's where the 2 major rivers meet. Kogi State should be more developed and should have more investment. It should be a tourist site. But at the end of the day, it's politicking we get to hear from Kogi State. So you say you want to be governor. What makes you think that the people of Kogi should vote for you? What difference are you going to make in the lives of the people?
Thank you so much. Let me start with the issue of security you have said. Well, Governor Yabelo, in terms of security, he tried his best. Give it to him. But it's not enough. Why the security challenge is a bit problematic is because most of our youth are idle in the state. If you go to Kogi State now, go to all the local government secretariats, they are locked up. You cannot see human being operating in most of them. They don't, even the chairman don't go to office. They stay at home. Some stay in Lokoja. Many stay in Lokoja because nobody is working in the local government. Again, because they are not being paid, they are getting 15%, 20% salary. So even the money you get cannot take you to the office in terms of transport. So what will you go and do? Everybody will go to farm and look for what they will eat for themselves. And if the local government is killed, definitely you should be expecting.
You have less than 10 seconds to say what it is that you're going to do.
So what I'm going to do as a governor, number one, I will improve on the security because I will make the local government to work.
Okay.
Then I will make them to get their full salaries. Then I will make sure that infrastructural development that I'm doing in my own constituency, which you can go and check, will go around the states.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Honorable Liki Abejide is Chairman, House Committee on Customs and Excise, and he's also the governorship candidate of the African Democratic Congress, Kogi State. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And we wish you well. Sunrise Daily will be back in a moment. Do stay with us.